I know people who love purple a lot, but you have taken it to an entirely new level. As I know, you experience synesthesia, which I know about. I read a cool book about that when I was in school. But I also think for the Black community, the color purple is so important. So, what has the color purple meant for you as an artist and for this new song?
That's interesting. You say that, and of course they're putting out the new color purple, and just even the teaser looked like gave me chills. So definitely there's that context. Growing up, I remember when that movie first came out and being at a premiere in the Bay Area, which was just like etched in me. It was such a powerful movie. And I think that purple's something that is powerful and intense and beautiful and strong. And I know when Prince kind of claimed that color, he was a complex person, being sensual and powerful and like joyful and mysterious. There's so many things mixed in with it. And for me, and you mentioned synesthesia, for me, when I hear things, I'll associate them visually. It's very abstract, but it's just certain sounds, certain notes, certain chords, certain words have a visual connection for me. And when I heard the music before the lyrics and melody were written, it was just like a purple kind of smoky atmosphere. And it was just like, how can I express this feeling? Like we're just kind of entering into a zone. So, it also just had a feeling of longing, in the song, and just like wanting to connect with this certain feeling, like get back to this feeling. So lyrically, that's kind of where I went with it, and where the producer, Bedrock, I feel like the vibe that he gave definitely, was kind of influenced by Prince and was giving me that kind of feeling. So it was like, we got to approach this like how like Prince would do a love song. And I worked with Lauren Evans lyrically on that. And yeah, I mean, now I perform it. I love performing it. I haven't, there's like a handful of music videos that I've done. And so I was really excited to put visuals to this song and make it special.
It's very special. And I'm so glad that you mentioned Prince, because that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
Because you were just at Paisley Park.
Yes.
And I thought that was so cool. I was like, oh, this is so perfect with all the purple and everything. And, I wanted to know, since you already touched on it a little bit, what was that experience like going back there? Because I know you had a performance with Prince before. And I wanted to know, like you were talking about, a lot of the inspiration was a lot of Prince's purple energy. But I also wanted to know how his purple vision has inspired this new era of your career. And as a soulful artist overall, I feel like Prince inspires so many, and just for you.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
He had, just as a vocalist, anyone in I don't know, soul, R&B, pop, blues, anything, it's like he has to be in there. Rock. For me, I mean, definitely, like I grew up listening to him, and when I first started writing songs, he would be one of the influences that I would take in, just, especially if I was having trouble with the line. Just how would I want to approach it? I think there was so much emotion and like a deep rootedness in blues, kind of, even though, it's like pop and all this kind of stuff that feels kind of at home for me. I did, we were friends, and I feel like he was a mentor, and, he came out to some of my shows sometimes to support, like he would with so many artists, a lot of artists that, like Jay Davy and I went to his 3121 club and performed. He used to see Liz Wright, Janelle Monáe. There's so many people he supported. And so that was always there. We were supposed to do some recording together. We did when I did the live show, he came up and did a solo on Crushed Out. And I heard there's a recording out there. So one day I'm going to get my hands on that. But we were supposed to get in the studio at some point, and I was I feel like unofficially invited out to Paisley Park to do something. And I didn't know, like, is this good? But this was early on when I didn't really know him yet. So it was kind of mysterious what was going to happen. Am I just supposed to go look at it, or are we working on a song? So I didn't make it out there. And actually, just recently was my first time actually going to Paisley Park, which is kind of ridiculous. I feel like on my behalf. But I just felt like it was time. And I was also in the city going to see our friend Dave Chappelle perform at the arena out there. And I was just like, I have to go to Paisley Park this time. And it felt very nostalgic. You can tell it's very personal for him, just the space. And I think every space that he went to, he really made his own and feel like home. And so I don't know, it was very like heartwarming and a little bit sad. I miss him, but it's really awesome that he believed in ownership and having a space and claiming a space and making things your own and doing it in your own way, and all of that, and some of that legacy lives on.
Yeah. I think that's amazing that you got to do that. And I also wanted to talk to you about the emotions of this new song. And you're working with Damian Sandoval on the visuals, and we were talking about that kind of purple mist, purple cloud that's kind of kind of around,
engulfing, enrapturing.
Yeah, I was really thinking about that, so I really wanted to know like what specific emotions you were trying to portray and capture, especially since you're working with Omari and capturing that chemistry. What was your vision for that?
First of all, Damian Saldova, it was wonderful working with him. It was my first time working with him. He's done some epic videos, and he's also from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love getting to work with talented people from the Bay Area. And it's always nice to work with friends. So Omari and I have known each other. Excuse me. We've known each other since Sparkle, since they redid the movie Sparkle, and on set there. And we've got to work together even lyrically since then. We co-wrote a song, Perfect, on my Strong as Glass album. And on some other songs, he was writing with Estelle, and they wrote Strong as Glass, which is an amazing song. And then just kind of, supported each other over the years. So I was so happy when he was, down to be in the video. He's like so charismatic and handsome and he always brings a lot of energy, you know, once he's on camera. And I think the whole video, um, I'm kind of in the purple world, and I think he's searching and we're trying to find each other. And so most of it is just trying to find each other, in the video, and then finally connecting at the end in the rain, but you could barely see the rain, but it was real rain in there. and and then at the end of the video, we tease into the song Oh Hi, which is going to be on this Colors album. And of course, then it's like, brighter and more capturing what it's like when you are where you want to be with who you want to be, like specifically in that moment in time is standing still.
Wow. Yeah, I love that. And you kept my attention that entire video and I loved it so much. It was excellent. But I also wanted to talk about how you released a candle and a slip dress, which I really want to get.
Good.
To reflect the scent and the feel of the color purple, and especially what that means for you. How important do you think it is for your fans to experience your artistry through multiple senses, through feel and scent and, listening, especially with the gift that you have to feel everything so deeply? What kind of experience do you want to create for fans with everything put together? I think that's cool.
Thank you. So I have the things that you are describing on my site, dreamseeker.com. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a really long time, how to emote a feeling in more than one way. And I think that so it's not that purple always has the same texture and tone. For me, it's really with this song, with the feeling that it had, I felt like it should have a specific scent, that's sensual and grounding and alluring. If it was a different song that also had a purple tone, it would probably be a whole different scent. But this one, to me, I mean, it took me a while to find this particular scent. And this is amber and oud and leather. And then it has like notes of jasmine in there also. And so it kind of has that mysterious, grounding, sensual kind of thing. And I also felt like it should feel feminine and masculine, not just too sweet. It should have this certain kind of balance. So, and the candles are manufactured by this amazing company in Laguna Beach. And it's a Black couple that's been doing it for, a couple of decades. It's like certified vegan, sustainable. I just loved their whole process over there. So that's the scent and that's available. And I wanted there to be a feeling like that people could get at shows and smell at shows and then be able to take it home and kind of recapture that feeling at home. So that's part of the reason that I wanted to go with the candles, because I feel like smell sparks nostalgia. And then I wanted merch. It's like I'll have T-shirts and sweatshirts and things like that at shows, but I also wanted a specialized, like limited edition piece of merch that reflects the feel of the song. So with this one, it just seemed like it should be silk and something that feels good on your skin and that you could just kind of, I don't know, that you could just slip into and tap into that mood. And so it's a slip dress that, I mean, you could sleep in it, but I've worn it out. I've worn it on stage before. You can dress it up. It's kind of one of those things. It's just like, take it and do what you want with it. And I also did a slip dress for another song that's going to be on the album called Color My Heart, because it also had like a sensual vibe, but it's a whole different tone. It's like a Merlot, scarlet red type of thing. So you'll see that too. But there's, different moods for different songs. And then with that one, with the Color My Heart, it's more of peony and wild rose, like sweet romantic smell. With a candle. And then I also did one for Time Heals, which when I was working on that song, it was very introspective and nostalgic and felt like before the sunset kind of, I don't know. I feel like sometimes there's almost this melancholy feeling I get when the day is ending in that golden hour time, and it just makes me very nostalgic. So I felt like it was like golden and burnt orange and all of this kind of stuff. And the smell in that is like a bergamot, citrus, jasmine kind of smell.
Oh, I'm
sorry for the long answers, but
That's okay.
This has been my world lately.
Yeah, that's all going on my Christmas list for this year. I'm really excited. But I wanted to talk to you because I saw that you were just at an event about mental health. And
yeah.
I wanted to talk about that because you took a pretty significant break in your career before releasing this album and getting everything together. So I wanted to know, how do you think taking a break enabled you to come back into the industry stronger and, bring this new era to life?
Well, I'm someone that really believes in a work-life balance.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to do music. I've done it since I was a teenager, and I've always wanted to have a life. And I'm a mom and an entrepreneur. So I think I didn't take breaks from shows. That's kind of just this ongoing thing since the beginning. I'm always doing shows, but sometimes I'm doing more private events than being on tour. I think what I take a break from sometimes is the writing part and the being in the studio part. And as a singer-songwriter, I just need to be fueled up. And I'm kind of, right now I'm in the zone where I don't want there to be so much time in between. And I want to just keep getting in the studio more regularly. And you just never know, when ideas are going to come. But I think it was about 5 or 6 years since the last album. In that time, I mean, I was writing off and on and, doing shows and doing different things. And then the pandemic hit and it was like, it's time to finish a project. You know what I mean? This is the time where I'm sitting still and I can finish a project. And it just gelled for me a little more that I wanted to emote a whole mood rather than give you all the songs I've ever been working on over these past few years. Like I really wanted to just capture a specific feeling, and it's a kind of a shorter album, but just something that hopefully can play through.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had,
I feel like that was a
yeah.
two-part question because I'm like, with the mental health and
Yeah.
well-being, I definitely think that's so important too. And I think like for creatives, when I first started over 20 years, I felt like it was this idea of just like grind and just like you say yes to everything. And um I did say yes to everything for a while, and then I had to realize this is going to burn me out. I'm going to need to sometimes decide to say no, and it's like I need to rise to the occasion, when it's really important. Um, but it's important to say yes to the things that I feel even on a gut level and just let some things go, to really try and have a balanced life.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And you were just saying you
Yeah.
have so many other things going on, having the balance is important. I had one more question for you.
Yes.
Um, do you have a release date yet for Colors or
Yeah.
okay.
November. Yeah. November 4th.
Okay, awesome. So I
I'm
wanted to,
sorry. November 3rd. What's Friday?
oh gosh.
November 3rd.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Um, I wanted to know, what do you hope fans will take away from this album, and what message do you hope to send to them?
Mm. I just want them to feel something.
Yeah.
Um, I think this is an album. For me, this is just like my continued evolution as a woman. And um, it's a little more raw, and the production on some of the songs is even a little more stripped back. And um, it just feels like a very honest album. And I don't know. I mean, it's like, purple's very vibey. Everything that's in the purple tone, and that's purple, oh, hi, I need you, which is kind of like a little more sexy R&B type of song. But a lot of those ones are, like, I don't know, in the sensual zone. And, that was really fun for me. But there's also songs about the cycle of love, and Color My Heart is like a falling in love, and just kind of like, oh, when your heart is bursting, and that kind of just inspiration, and um that. And then there's Complicated, which is maybe the conflict sometimes in a relationship, the internal conflicts we go through, and um, just the back and forthness, um, and Risk It All, of just kind of like leaning into the unknown and trusting it, and Time Heals, which is just kind of like, as time goes on, if we keep making the steps, the path will appear, and sometimes it's like how am I going to get there? I mean, I like knowing where I'm going, but I also am a firm believer in having a vision. And, it's been great to even work with different people over the years to vision, and like you get to upgrade your vision, and like once you reach some goals, you get to up level so that you can stay inspired, and sometimes it doesn't always make sense, but I'm just learning to trust my gut on, like, if I can see it, and if I can just start making the steps, even if I can't see all the steps, I'm going to trust, that I can get there. And so I think that's part of what this album is for me. And well, specifically that song Time Heals. But so I just wanted to take people on a vibey journey of what's been on my mind and heart, and hopefully give them some music that feels good and stirs their souls.
Yes, everything you're saying is resonating with me so much. So now I'm
Oh,
really
good.
excited, like especially with not knowing the steps, and I'm in the middle of a bunch of things right now and I'm trying to figure it out. So that's perfect.
Yes.
That's so
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
say it's good to be in the figuring it out zone, like that we don't have to have it all figured out. I mean, it's hard though, right? It's
Yes.
kind of scary, but I'm learning to be, they say that, nervousness is one breath away from excitement.
Ooh, I like
And when
that.
somebody told me that, I was like, I'm going to hold on to that,
Yeah.
because sometimes when you're feeling that uneasy feeling and it starts feeling like fear, it gets like a negative association, but it's like, maybe I'm excited though, and this is just like a little, when you're going out of the comfort zone a little bit, it's just a little bit scary, but it's good because that might be like a growing thing.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so great. And you are so lovely. Every time I see you, your braids are perfect and it's just inspirational.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Thank
loving your
you.
hair. I'm just
Thank
loving
you.
how everyone is embracing
Yeah.
natural hair. And for me, like to go from that was another thing that the pandemic did. Of course, my hair isn't this long, but it's way longer than it was a few years ago. And it's just that was like, I had short hair for so long, which I love because it's very liberating. And then I was like, I want something new, but you have to get through the transition stage, right? So I was like, all right, I don't have any shows for a while. I can grow my hair. I can get through the awkward stage. But I just love how people are embracing braids in so many different styles right now, you know?
Yeah. I had some similar braids that you had where the little pieces are out and they're curled.
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
them. I was so upset having to take them out, but
Oh,
they're
your hair is
fun.
looking great and healthy.
Yeah. I really appreciate it. Um,
Thank
thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. You're a legend in my eyes, so it's such an honor.
you.
And I'm so excited for the album and the tour. And it was amazing meeting you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for your patience and graciousness.
Of course. Yes. It was so nice
All
meeting
right.
you. Hey, have an
Have
amazing
a
day.
thank you, you too.